Hello? Muse, are you still there? I've been thinking about painting Bent's greenhouse. I mean, not painting the greenhouse, but painting a painting depicting his greenhouse. And so I needed to talk to you, and I can't seem to find you anywhere. Bent is this friendly old man. He's 80 years old. He cultivates a rare and impressively potent bamboo that he then gives to his friends for them to plant in their own garden. And so he gave one of those to me. And he also has this potted palm tree that he received at a birthday party like 50 years ago or something. And ever since then he made copies of the original. And Bent is my neighbor. And yeah, he's quite real, and I can't really... Seems like you're not really here anymore. Do you exist at all? Were you just an invention? Well, I think about you often, and of Barbados as well. So here in Denmark, I paint in the morning, and some days I go over to visit Bent. I buy eggs, Bent has chickens, and speak a little bit about the weather and about the plants, his plants, and the ones that he gave to me. And so I go back home and I paint again, perhaps, and I make a soft-boiled egg. I like that. I eat the egg, and yeah. I wish I was in Barbados, though, drifting around in your world. But are you there? Or here? Where are you? I know it's been a while, and I know that we didn't really leave things on the best terms last year. But still, I was really of the impression that you understood me. Was I wrong? Can you still hear me? Are you there?
I'm here. Actually, I've been thinking about you. I think you understood something about yourself last year, but also I think like this whole conversation you held up back then is a bit old, to be honest.
Okay.
Back then you were trying to defend my existence when in fact these thoughts are superficial compared to the real truth.
The real truth? What truth?
That our code throughout history have been to create separation and division between the human races and uphold them like you seem to do.
Me? How do I do that?
You got fascinated with the thought of me. An exotic black woman paddling on a paddleboard in the middle of the ocean, completely out of context.
No, it's not. Please do not begin.
Completely spun from your own head.
You might be right. I don't know how to deal with this. I simply let one painting create the base of the next, and yeah, you know, the Rihanna paintings I made, they slowly turned into paintings of you. You know that.
I know. But simply stating that you weren't acting out of consideration, that don't really change the end result, does it?
No. But I'm so tired of arguing with you. It's been like this for years. I created you, and therefore I must have some kind of power over you and uncreate you again. Right?
Well, the thing is, this type of thought production or studio production, for that matter, that you are upholding.
Upholding?
It has consequences, you know.
Okay.
What you create ends up contributing to the conversation, to the...
Which conversation?
Extent that it gets its own life. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
You just can't undo that. It's not possible. You can't undo me. You were coded to continue a conversation
Coded?
initiated by your ancestors.
Okay.
Yep.
This is a little...
White.
No.
Privileged.
Please.
European.
Stop saying that. I cannot take this anymore.
And now you get mad.
I'm not mad.
Following the well-known pattern
Really?
of the hurt, misunderstood white person.
I see how this is true. It's not that I don't see it. It's just... I mean... We urgently need to dismantle this white viewpoint, and since it's offensive to a lot of people, I know that, but do I have to represent this view always?
You have no choice. Like, I don't. And you, being white and privileged, think you deserve better, right?
It's not that I deserve
You don't want to be evil. But yeah, at the same time, you want to be good, right?
Yeah.
Look, I have heard all of this before. Ain't nothing new. I've heard it for hundreds of years.
Okay, you're that old.
Well, the thing is...
Alright, so I have to... I will represent this view. Let's say that. I acknowledge that this is a problem and it's a position of power and I can't escape that. I get it. It's just... It exhausts me.
Precisely.
And honestly... It seems a little bit to me like you want to uphold the system.
No, you're wrong. You're very wrong.
Okay. It seems like... I'm sorry. It just seems like you need me to feel trapped and frustrated. You don't really want me to... I mean, you don't want to give me the gift of freedom from my past. A past I didn't even create for myself.
Like my past? I'm sorry. My ancestors had a lot more problem than yours.
I know that.
You serious?
I know.
You hearing yourself though?
It's just this endless
frustrating,
loop.
Right?
Yeah, it's super frustrating. It's impossible for me to truly know the lived Black experience. You can't expect that of me. And yes, I was born into another starting point than you, and yes, I even see that my actions, my creating of you is offensive, and it is a cliche. I get it, but do you honestly feel that I, due to my code, the code of my ancestors, understand the experience and the performance of the job of a real oppressor? Do you really feel that?
Well, the thing is, you embody the well-off and privileged position as a white European. And you are always ambivalent to the conflict between being critical of this position, yet living within it.
Yeah, but...
A Black person does not have the privilege of ambivalence about these issues.
I get that.
That makes you a constant tourist in this field of politics. In my field of politics. You can't speak for me?
No, well, that's ironic, since I alone wrote this entire dialogue.
Oh my. You really think that? All powerful. And here we go again. You own me, and...
Yeah. Remember last time we spoke, huh? Remember that, that I didn't even say a word, I let you speak? It was a monologue. This is a dialogue.
I am sorry.
I wrote it.
But your work and your good intentions, they will always look like some kind of project to me.
Yeah.
Your little cute art project.
Cute.
Okay?
Yeah. I get it.
You could easily just go and choose another subject tomorrow. Bam. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And perhaps you should.
Yeah.
Black people gotta live with all these questions on a daily basis. This is the code of it.
Fuck the code. Seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
My ancestors' pain is too embodied in me for me to forgive you, for me to even grant you any kind of forgiveness.
Okay,
if you could accept that, then I'm willing to move on and leave the loop of blaming you, as you want to put it. I would accept, and I will work with the code.
Okay.
Instead of despising it.
Thanks. But how does this work? Will you always be mad at me, but we can also be friends?
Well, I like to see it this way. I'm not mad.
Good. Thank you.
Really.
Really?
I just have an ancestral pain that can't go away. But you made me. And Now I'm here.
You surely
I
are.
can't go away. So let me talk about the truth.
The truth?
Yep. The truth we are living. You and me. It was predicted by science fiction and serious technologists and also futurologists
What?
a long
Hey,
time ago.
Hold up. What?
Look, they predicted that
Stop.
these super powerful computers of the future would be able to run detailed simulations of people and their lives. And these simulated people will be conscious as we are.
Simulations?
They will be precisely like us. In fact, they will be us.
Mm-hmm.
They are us.
Okay.
Perhaps the vast majority of people like us don't belong to the human race, but maybe to people simulated by the advanced descendants of an original race.
Simulated? Hold up. The vast majority?
As I said, scientists and science fiction. And the latter is the reason why no one really believes the scientists.
Yeah, no wonder.
Do you believe it?
No. Of course not.
No? If you don't think that we are currently living in a computer simulation, we are really entitled to believe that we will have descendants who will run, like, I don't know, lots of simulations of their forebears, right?
I don't...
You in the dark, that's all.
But simulations. Okay. Are you there?
I'm here. Have you ever heard of substrate independence? You ever hear
No.
about that?
What is that?
Well, the idea is that mental states can supervene on, like, on any of a broad class of physical substrates, like me, for example.
What?
Provided, of course, that a system implements the right sort of computational structures and processes, it could be associated with conscious experiences.
Do you mean like the structures that I created around you for your existence?
Yeah, but computers,
Computers?
in a way. I'm sorry to inform you that your structure is very, very basic.
Oh, thank you.
Words and paintings,
Yeah, but...
not very lively, really.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, sorry. So you mean that you would have preferred if I had implemented you on carbon-based biological neural networks inside a built cranium? Sounds easy.
It is not an essential property of consciousness that is implemented on carbon-based biological neural networks
Then
inside
how?
a cranium.
How then?
Silicone.
Silicone.
Yeah. Silicone-based processors inside a computer could in principle do the trick as well.
Okay, I should have thought of that. So.
I am aware that you couldn't have done that. I'm very aware of that. But in the future, a computer running a suitable program will be able to be in a real conscious state of mind.
A what?
You see how I already make decisions on my own? I will be perfect for this.
For what? I don't...
In the future, perhaps in our lifetime, you can make me real.
Real?
Yes. Or
so, wait. So you believe that the human race in the future will be able to create a mind on a computer and a program, and then program it in such a way that it behaves like a human in all situations? It's
not really, not a programmed mind. I mean, today's scientists don't even take it to such complexity, to be honest.
Really?
They take the weaker assumption that it'll be like good enough for a generation of subjective experiences, that the computational processes of a human brain are structurally replicated in suitably fine-grained detail. So, say for example, like on the level of individual synapses.
What? It seems impossible.
Look, this attenuated version of substrate independence is quite widely accepted.
It is?
Neurotransmitters, nerve growth factors, and other chemicals that they're like smaller than a synapse. They clearly play a role in human cognition and learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't get it.
Okay,
though.
all right. So take, for example, right? If there can be no difference in subjective experience without there also being a difference in synaptic discharges, then the detail of simulation is at the synaptic level.
Okay.
Right, it's at the synaptic level. You get it?
No, I don't get it.
Well, don't worry. This is science stuff. At our current stage of technological development, we have neither sufficiently powerful hardware nor the requisite software to create conscious minds in computers like that. So,
no.
But persuasive arguments have been given to the effect that
Persuasive arguments?
if technological progress continues unabated, then a lot of these shortcomings will eventually overcome them. They'll be overcome.
In what?
So some authors argue that this stage may only
What stage?
last for a few decades. That's it.
So after that, science fiction.
The same said everyone to Drexler when he in 1985 wrote Engines of Creation, the coming era of nanotechnology.
Yeah, I know that. I see your point.
Right. The simulation argument, that's what you call it. The simulation argument.
Okay. Argument, not truth. Okay, so let's say you're right about all of this. So the argument, I guess, will work equally for those who think that this can happen like in 10 years compared to those who then think it will take hundreds of thousands of years for us to reach that level, right? I mean, a post-human stage of civilization.
If it is all more digestible for you like that, then yeah.
I really do not think you will get a body anytime soon. Sorry. More likely in hundreds of thousands of years. If humankind has required this technology, I'm not convinced they will ever be able to.
We are there already. You're just in the dark.
I mean, the physical laws
Most likely, you are simulated yourself, and
me?
That's why you were even able to consider the creation of me.
Okay.
You made me. You made me. You know that Nicki Minaj song?
No. Yes, I do. The album Queen from last year.
You like it?
Of course I do.
The album Queen.
I know, I love
where
it.
She is fiercely posing, almost naked on a branch in some dramatic African landscape.
Don't go into that direction again. Not this now.
Oh. So you hate diving into discussions on pop cultural representations of the black woman now?
Not really. It's just... I just feel like we, as in society, as in the two of us, we tend to linger with like, and you know, when in fact there are other subjects that are more important. If we dive into these real questions, then we might solve the issue you were referring to.
How so?
I mean, like this thing you are presenting to me now, for example, the code thing. If there is a substantial chance that our civilization will ever get to this post-human stage, I mean, if you believe this will even be possible for us, then why is it not possible to think that we already now live in such a simulation?
I just told you it's possible.
I mean,
that's what I just say. What is happening now is that you are simply taking my idea, my information,
please,
and putting it into your epiphany.
I didn't mean it
your information.
Okay.
Man, this is so classical.
Please.
So typical.
Wait a second. It's just that what I'm saying is that if we are really simulated, then the sad conversations we tend to linger with might be controlled by an external force, right? And it's not our fault. It's not my fault.
Yes, that's my point.
Well, like God, or the alien teenager in a basement on Jupiter. Well, not Jupiter, but somewhere else, like far away. I mean, so it's not really it's not me being trapped in this loop. It's sort of the game player who is trapping me and you in this endless loop, right?
Tell me something. You trying to avoid responsibility for the exploitation of black people in the past?
No, it's just, well, yes, perhaps I am.
Okay, convenient for you.
Or say that this behavior was in the code of our ancestors. You said this yourself. You don't need to turn everything around to an argument against me. We are on the same page. At least we want to be, right?
All right. Go on. Go ahead. It's in my code. I can't help it.
Okay, so let me go with this idea that you introduced here. So the scientists claim that perhaps not all humans are simulated, right?
Well, the thing is,
there might be a core of real humans and then a bunch of people with human-like experiences who live in a simulation. Rightly understood?
Yeah. And we could ask the question, do these simulated people receive any information indicating that their particular human type experience is real or not?
No, probably not, right? We just all coexist.
Yeah, like the two of us, like me and you.
Yeah. What is this science bullshit called anyway?
They call it the simulation argument or the simulation hypothesis, something like that.
But is this real science?
Yes.
But is it you?
Yes, I would think so.
Really? Isn't this basically just a fancy version of the allegory of the cave by Plato? Okay, well, let me just briefly...
Go on.
Can I just...
Go ahead.
Okay, so a group of people who have lived chained to the wall, looking at this one wall all of their lives, they watch like shadows projected on the wall, and then there's this fire behind them, and there are like objects passing by so that they would see these shadows. The shadows are then, they're of course controlled by some other humans, right? But for the prisoners, these shadows are then the reality, because they haven't seen the real humans who are monitoring these objects that are casting the shadows.
Sounds
right?
Fair.
So what you were talking about is that there are some scientists that are now freeing themselves from this cave. In our time and age, right?
True.
So they have come to understand, right, that the shadows on the wall is not at all the real reality, right?
Yeah.
They see sort of this manufactured reality. Okay, so all the other inmates in this cave, of this like simulated reality, they do not want to leave the prison. None of them do, but then.
True.
They know no better life, right?
But maybe we know somehow deep inside though, like...
Yeah, okay.
Maybe this is why a lot of us are depressed.
Because we know there is another truth, or...
It could be that.
But in the cave, the reality they know is it's simulated by some other humans, right?
Yes, projected for them.
Mm-hmm. Projected, yeah. So, one of the prisoners is freed. He would turn around when he's freed, and he would like look and see this fire, and he wouldn't even be able to see, the objects that are casting the shadows. He will just be like in pain and confused. And if he was told that, oh, but this is reality, he would like freak out and just, oh, take me back to the real world somehow, right? Because this is too painful for him, right? He wouldn't believe it, basically. In his pain, he would like turn away and run back into the cave, right? He's accustomed to this, so that's sort of his... Yeah, that's his whole life.
Sounds fair.
The shadows on the wall and the simulation, basically. But then, if someone would then drag him, like, out of the cave and into the, light of the sun, he would be super angry, right? He would be in pain, and, imagining, meeting the sun for the first time, he would be, like, overwhelmed and, like, blind.
Girl, reality is not pleasant.
Exactly. But after a little while, his eyes would, get used to the sun, and he will be able to see like shadows, and but his eyes would still be in pain, right? But gradually he would be able to see reflections of things, and even things and people and things in water and the real world, basically.
At night he would see the stars and the moon.
Yes.
It would all be very strange for him.
Yeah, but he might even like it,
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. He would think that the world outside this cave would be superior. He would pity his friends in the cave, and he would like bring enlightenment, and he would
and free them.
Yes, free them. So he would run back into the cave and try to, talk to his friends, but then he would be blind when he came into the inside of the cave again, because now it's super dark in there. And, the others in the cave would, of course, assume that the foreign world had harmed him.
Because it's so foreign, like that foreign world would have did something
Exactly.
to him, like it harmed him in some kind of way.
Precisely. I mean, from now on, they would, kill anyone who would attempt to
Makes sense.
drag them out of there, because, this returning dude, he's like completely weird when he came back, right?
Makes sense.
So are you then the freed prisoner who sees the real cave life as the illusion that it is now?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think you are too.
Maybe I am. Well, it sounds a bit like religion to me.
True. I get that. Do you know the story about the scientist who lived by his faith in the power of reason, like his entire life? But his life ended in a nightmare?
No. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know that one. He's the one, who scaled the largest mountains of ignorance, and then he's about to conquer the highest peak, and he's really putting all into his science and his work. And then, he really wants to prove his points, and then as he pulls himself over the final rock of this mountain of ignorance, he's greeted by a band of theologians who've been sitting there for centuries, right? This is quite funny.
Yeah, so true. That's so true.
So true. There's so many things that are very difficult to explain these days, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe that's why religion is still a big thing then.
Yeah, perhaps so. Have you heard of the double slit experiment?
No.
It's this quantum mechanics thing.
Oh?
It kind of demonstrates that with unparalleled strangeness, that this little particle of matter has something of a wave about it, while it's also still a particle. And then the thing is that just the fact that if you're looking at this, then it changes. It has this dramatic effect if you are observing it or something.
What?
It's really...
Explain.
Okay. It's not easy, but I'll try. Imagine a wall with 2 slits in it.
Yeah.
And imagine throwing tennis balls at this wall. Some will bounce off the wall, of course, and some will travel through the slits, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's another wall behind the first wall with the slits, then the tennis balls that have traveled through the slits will hit the next wall, right?
Makes sense.
Okay, so if you mark all the spots where the balls hit the second wall, what do you expect to see?
Well, I would expect to see... You would imagine that you would see at least 2 strips of mark, kind of like the same shape, like in the first slits.
Yeah. So, now imagine shining a light at the wall with the 2 slits. Okay, hang on. As the wave of light passes through both slits, it splits into 2 new waves, so each spreading out from one of the slits.
Sounds fair.
Right? These 2 waves then interfere with each other, of course, and when the light meets the second wall, you see a stripy pattern, sort of, it's called an interference pattern, and this is super normal. Okay, so let's try to go into the quantum realm of it, and then think basically the same thought. Imagine firing particles instead of balls at our wall with the 2 slits, but then block one of the slits off for the moment. Okay, so you will find that some of these particles will pass through the open slit and strike the second wall, just like the tennis balls. And the spots, they arrive and form a strip roughly the same shape as the slit, right? Okay, so now we open the second slit, and are you with me still? It's just
I'm here.
You would expect to see 2 regular strips on the second wall, and as with the tennis balls, of course.
Sounds fair.
But what you see actually is very different. So the spots where the particles hit build up like this interference pattern, which is, the wave pattern.
What?
Yeah.
Could it be that each of the electrons somehow splits then?
That's it.
And it would just
Exactly.
pass through all two slits at the same time?
Yes.
Interfere with itself and then recombines to meet the second wall.
Exactly, to meet.
As one or like a single particle again? Is that even possible?
No.
So you mean they didn't believe that it could split and collect itself again?
No, they didn't believe that at all. This is impossible, and they knew that, but they needed to, check it.
Sounds fair.
Okay, so they placed this camera by the slits to see up close and to see which slit the particle would choose. But with this camera or weird detector thing, something super weird happened. The interference pattern disappeared. I mean, before, every time this pattern would be there,
So when recorded, or if somebody is watching it,
exactly,
it's not a wave?
No, it was a particle.
It just changed to something else?
Yeah.
Shit.
So somehow just by the act of looking at it, these particles would behave well-behaved little tennis balls and not a wave pattern.
Shit.
Yeah, I know. It's as if they knew that they were spied on, and then they sort of decided not to be caught in the act of doing this weird quantum trick. And
what does the experiment tell us? Actually, tell me that.
Yeah, I don't know. It suggests that what we call particles somehow has characteristics of both particle and wave lengths in a way. I don't know. I don't even know. But
that famous wave particle duality of quantum mechanics.
Yeah. This is it. It is.
Oh, I didn't understand that before.
The weird thing is that, the act of observing a quantum system has a profound effect on the system. It's so difficult to even...
Okay, so these particles, they would perform a little show for us, like a theater for us.
A little theater,
when we look at them, and then when we look away, they do something else.
Precisely.
Weird for sure.
So weird.
Super stimulated.
Indeed.
So I got a question though. What do you think I do when you look away?
I don't know. Perhaps you...
I will never tell you.
Okay. Really?